Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and welcome to another edition of About Last Nightmare. Now, today, Nick and I are continuing our Amityville adventure with Amityville, A New Generation. Now, Amityville, A New Generation is a 1993 film which runs approximately 91 minutes and is directed by John Merlowski. Now, he was responsible for Killer Caregiver, Zombie Hamlet, which sounds like a laugh riot, and Black Cadillac, which I have seen. Now, this stars Ross Partridge as Keys Terry. He was in Phobias and Stray. Julia Nixon as Sookie. She was in Ready Player One, Beyond the Game, and Dim Sum Funeral. And finally, Layla Slotman as Lane. She was in Net Games, Dream a Little Dream, and Pump Up the Volume. Now, this had a budget of $1.5 million, and this book, rather than being taken directly from the Amityville The Evil Escapes book, this was inspired by. So, this is another cursed film, a cursed object from the actual Amityville house. And the Thanksgiving murders took place in 1966, presumably in a separate event from the DeFeo killings. That's actually not true, and I'll explain. But that's what IMDb had on their website. Now, this probably has the most well-known cast of any of the Amityville films. You have, of course, Richard Roundtree, who played Shaft, David Naughton, who was in American Werewolf in London, Terry O'Quinn, who was the stepfather, Grady from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, I can't remember his real name, but he's been in a lot of stuff, and the girl who was going out with Peter Barton in Friday the 13th Part 4, and Lynn Shay. So we have all these stars in this film. Now, unfortunately, this one got the second lowest rating on IMDb for an Amityville film. The lowest rated one is Amityville Curse, which Nick and I may or may not do at the end, but this one had a really trashy rating. And I thought I'd seen this one before, but I actually haven't. So this is a first time watch for me. I'll go over the Vinegar Syndrome presentation real quick. This is the reversible artwork. I prefer this myself, so that's what I have it on. And it comes in that house box that I showed you guys last week. Last week we watched Amityville, It's About Time. That movie was a freaking mess. The acting was all over the place, but it was a lot of fun. This movie, the acting is actually really good. The story, while it gets a little silly at times, is more realistic than most of them. This is about a mirror that one of the guys from an apartment building full of artists, he gets it from a bum on the side of the street. That's pretty much all I can say. The mirror was part of the original Amityville house, and of course it's possessed and bad things start to happen. I'm not going to get into any more of the storyline because there's a few twists and turns in this movie that really impressed me. So I actually really recommend this movie. Nick and I both love this one. For the worst rated in the entire Amityville franchise, this is actually my third favorite. I don't know if Nick and I are going to do some kind of a ranking when this is all over. Maybe. I don't really know right now. But this is my third one so far. It's been a while since I've seen Dollhouse. I know I've seen that one. It's been a while since I've seen Awakening, and it's been even longer since I've seen the Amityville Horror remake. So, I can honestly say that this is my third favorite right now, behind the original and behind Part 2. Part 2 has always been my favorite, probably always will be. But yeah, definitely check this one out, guys. We had a ball with this one. We actually gave this I gave it an 8.5. Nick was tipping the scale at 9 because he actually loved this film. I loved it too. Not quite as much as him, but it's very satisfying if you like haunted house films, and it was done extremely well. I don't get the hate for this movie. It's definitely done better than the last one, and to be honest, even though I've always been fond of Amityville, The Evil Escapes, I think this one was done a lot better. So, just my opinion. So, take it for what it's worth. But yeah, we'll be continuing next week, of course, with Amityville Dollhouse. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.